Empty words. Just another white lie told to make the moment happier. But these promises will never be fulfilled, for they never had the intention on doing so in the first place. These empty promises led his life, all his trust built on these fake securities. All these relationships meant nothing. They didn't matter to the other person. Saying I love you wasn't a part of their vocabulary. So he grew up in a house made of cards. One wrong move and it came tumbling down. All the lies they told him, all the trust falling piece by piece. All his life crashing down around him. Some cards fall on him, pushing him down onto the soft concrete. But he is not suffocating. No, he is finally at peace. Or Tommy is a supervillain with cool card powers. He got a shit ton of trauma, cool eye scar, and works at a bar. That is the summary of House of Cards, a supervillain AU. Yes. Trigger warnings. So there's going to be description of scars, implied eating disorders, mention of alcoholic beverages, and cigarettes. Chapter 1. Wilbur Soot is a strange man. Ranbu and Tommy sat on the couch. They were eating cereal and watching some shitty horror movie. This is usually what they did, waiting for Tubbo to come back from his job at Jack's tech store. He was gone most of the day, every weekday. Yeah, they could just rob a bank to go make money, but robbing the same bank over and over again gets kind of boring. So him and Tubbs have jobs. Tommy works at Carl's nightclub as a bartender. As a bartender. Tubbo also had a job there, but after threatening to rip someone's throat out, he got fired. They don't pay very well, but hey, what can you expect from the lower district? $6 an hour is enough to get by. Sometimes. Okay, maybe Tommy's lying to make himself feel better about pouring drinks to shitty drunk people for 6 hours straight. $36 a shift, man? I mean, come on, that's just sad. He doesn't work Tuesdays and the weekends, thank Primes. He only makes around $600 every month. Obviously, not enough to get by. Tubbo brings home around $500, leaving, after the bills, a grand total of $150-ish bucks. Yeah, they need to rob a bank soon, fuck that. He's been trying to ask for more hours, but his boss just won't give them to him, and because Ranbu can't really leave the house without getting recognized as Nightmare, they really need more fucking money. I mean, what can $100 get you? A carton of milk and a pat on the back? Their fridge had 5 things in there at the most. This movie sucks. Ranbu broke him out of his thoughts. Looking over, he saw him poking at a soggy cereal with his spoon. Ranbu was a Blazeborn Enderman hybrid. He had cool horns at the top of his head that curved in. They looked like little lightning bolts. One was broken due to an incident. What else you want to watch? Tommy asked, looking over at the movie to see what's so shit about it. Anything but this, please. The acting is horrendous, he chuckled, and shitty, he was right. The main character tripped so obviously fake and sounded like not scared at all when the serial killer was right behind them. Like, girl, try to do your job. Sucks how shitty actors like this make fucking like $100 an hour or some shit crazy, while most people are stuck in shitty office jobs making barely enough to survive for the rest of their lives, Tommy says, looking over at Ranbu for his response. You fucking said it, man, he said, before standing up and walking into the kitchen. His black and white tail swayed behind him as he walked over to the sink. Tommy clicked off the movie and changed it to The Office. Who doesn't like The Office? Who doesn't like The Office? Ranbu came... Ranbu came back after putting his bowl away and sat down, cracking a smile when he realized what was playing. They sat there like that for a few hours before Tubbo came home. The Ram hybrid came in looking exhausted as hell. Messy, dark brown hair fell over his face, fluffy ears sticking out of it. Tubbo didn't have horns yet. Surprising. By 14, most ram hybrids already had them, but Tubbo was already 15 and they hadn't even started growing in. That was not a sentence. Welcome home, Tubbs. How was work? Ranbu said, standing up and disappearing into thine kitchen. Not the worst. Jack made me do register, so I'm pretty socially exhausted, he said, kicking off his shoes and plopping down on the couch next to Tommy before continuing. All the constant questions about everything was just too much. Tommy nodded in agreement. Working register every day was a nightmare for him. I don't know how you do that shit every day, Toms, Tubbo jokes, looking slightly over at Tommy. His bowl of cereal sat in his lap. He occasionally poked it, but never ate any. It's a fucking nightmare, dude, especially with all the drunk guys. Last week, I had to kick someone out because they kept trying to flirt with some poor college girl, he replied. Poor girl, Tubbo replied, examining Tommy's face. He had a massive scar across his right eye, leaving him half blind. Lots of smaller cuts littered his face. His pointed ears stuck out from shoulder-length, dirty blonde hair. Ranbu came in, moments later, with a mug in his hand and walked over to Tubbo, handing him his delicious homemade vanilla latte. Oh, thank you, Boo, you're a lifesaver, he said, sipping down the top a little. No problem, Tubbs. Least I can do for all the work you've been putting in lately, he said, smiling as he sat down on the right of Tubbo. Hey, where's my coffee? I do a lot for this house. Hey, where's my coffee? I do a lot for this house, Tommy jokes, crossing his arms and fake pouting before laughing softly at Ranbu's dumbfounded expression. Tubbo also chuckled before sipping his coffee and going back to watching TV. Fine, big man, what you want? His older brother plays along with this joke of his, but the more Tommy thinks about it, a coffee would be nice right now. Actually, can I have the same as Tubbo's, please? He replied, honestly, sinking down into the couch. They bought it on the Craigslist, off of this sketchy guy. There's someone's bloodstains on it, but hey, it was only $10, so they can't complain too much. Ranbu nods and disappears into the connected kitchen. After a few minutes, he comes back with 2 mugs, presumably one for him and Tommy. Tommy takes the mug, smiling at the tall Blazeborn hybrid in front of him, effectively blocking the TV. Thank you, he says quickly before downing the coffee. He needed the energy, don't judge. Looking at the time only caused Tommy pain, seeing it was almost 6. He had to get ready for work. He audibly groaned before getting up and cracking his back. I've got to go get ready for work. Tommy said, while walking into the kitchen with his empty mug. Chugging it made him almost throw up. He probably could have just drank it, but he didn't really care. Already, damn, I just got home, Tubbo said, frowning before quickly sipping his coffee to hide his sad expression. Ranbu caught it, though. Well, hey, I don't have work, so you and me can play Monopoly or something, Ranbu said quickly, scooting closer to the ram hybrid beside him. Tubbo smiled at the thought. Monopoly sucks with only 2 people, but Ranbu makes it fun. Yeah, and after Tom's back, we can all go rob something or some shit, Tubbo suggested, eyes resting to look at Ranbu. Ranbu was looking at him too. Tubbo assumed he was looking at his scar, a massive one covering over 60% of his face. Burn scarring, to be exact. He didn't like remembering where he got it from. He shivered just thinking about the presence of it on his face. That'd be nice, Ranbu said, sipping his black coffee. Tubbo thought he was weird for liking it black, but to each their own. As Tommy walked through the cold, rainy streets, he noted he should grab an extra jacket for their slightly talked-about crime later. The nightclub was in Middle District, so he had to walk around a 20-minute walk in the pouring rain. He came to the doors of the nightclub, sighing as he opened the door. His shift lasted from 6 to 12, then some other poor dude came over and took over the counter from 12 to 6. He's glad he got the first shift. It gives him time afterwards to hang out with his friends and usually commit crimes. After entering, he saw his boss wiping down the counter. He looked up before speaking. You're a little late, Tommy. Please try to be here on time, he spoke. Carl was a nice dude. Probably too nice to run the only nightclub in the city, but whatever. They've got a big, scary bouncer, so it really doesn't matter. Sorry, Carl, he said quickly, walking over and hanging up his wet jacket before taking post at the counter. Standing around for 6 hours was boring. All he did was pour drinks for people. At least he knew about all the drama around town. Drunk people talk a lot, Tommy realized soon after getting the job. About 3 hours into his shift, his legs started hurting, like they did every shift. The bar was packed with people. Some of them Tommy recognized as vigilantes he's worked with before. The stools were surprisingly all empty, most people sitting at tables or walking around with their friends or drunk strangers they think are their friends. Tommy was wiping up a spill on the counter when he walked in. Number 3 hero, the red silencer, just walked in. Red wings out behind him, a matching red beanie lay on his head. Tommy noted he was wearing his hero's outfit. People turned to look his way when he entered. Red doesn't wear a mask after his identity was revealed a couple months ago, as Wilbur said, so his face was on full view. Scars were littered on the hero's face, new ones that were still bleeding, Tommy noted. Red walked up to the counter, ignoring the stares he got as he sat down on the stool right in front of Tommy. "What can I get you, sir?" Tommy said, putting on his good employee voice. "Just some beer, please," he replied. Tommy turned around and started making it. "On ice, please," Red added quickly. Tommy sighed, adding ice to the disgusting beverage in front of him. Tommy can't handle the taste of alcohol. It just tastes bad on his tongue. Kind of ironic how he works at a bar. Tommy's quick at setting the drink in front of the Blazeborn Avian Hybrid. He puts the drink on his bill and continues cleaning up as Red starts speaking. "Don't you know who I am?" Mr. Massive Ego says. "No shit, Sherlock," Tommy says in a monotone. Tommy says, voice monotone. He doesn't really want to have a conversation with a hero right now. "And you don't care?" Red asked, confused. Tommy sighs. "Prime, he is so full of himself, it's laughable." "Oh, Mr. Red Silencer, I'm so sorry. Can I please have an autograph?" Tommy says, sarcastically pleading, stretching the E before making his face fall, adding dramatic effect. Red laughed before speaking. "Geez, kid, isn't it cool that one of the top 3 heroes is in front of you?" he asked genuinely. "Not really," Tommy starts. "I mean, you're just a normal dude, really," Tommy states, looking up to see Red. His expression looks hurt before quickly fixing into something resembling confusion. "You look like you're in primary school," he changes the subject, laughing to himself. How dare he assume Tommy is that young? Yes, he was only 16, but he dropped out of school a long time ago. "And you look like a 30-year-old chain smoker," Tommy replied back, causing Wilbur to audibly gasp before he replied. "I do not," he said, laughing. Your musty facial hair and cigarette breath says otherwise," Tommy joked, holding back a laugh. He doesn't want to joke around with a hero. He hates Red. He's a self-obsessed prick that hates him. Well, he hates Ace, but Tommy was Ace. Don't get attached. He'll just leave. They always do. Wilbur held his side while he laughed, quite loudly. His laughter died down and he asked a question, slightly quieter than his obnoxious laugh. "You're fucking hilarious. What's your name, kid?" Wilbur laughed. Wilbur laughs. It dying down asked the question. "None of your business," Tommy teases, holding back a smile. Wilbur is silent for a moment before annoying the teen once more. "How'd you get that?" He changes the subject, pointing at Tommy's eye scar. "Nosy little fucker, aren't ya?" Tommy says, a little pissed. Sorry. It's just," he paused. "It looks..." He stopped again, thinking of how to phrase it. "Does it hurt?" He settled on that, waiting patiently for Tommy's answer. "Not really, I just can't see out of it," he answers truthfully. "Do you have glasses?" Wilbur questions, chugging the rest of his drink and signaling for a new one. "Nope, too expensive," he answers, grabbing Wilbur's drink before refilling it. He slid it over to him. A pained expression painted his face. "What are you doing here anyway? Shouldn't you be out, doing your job?" Tommy asks, propping himself against the counter, staring at the tall man in front of him. Can't a man have a break sometimes? Wilbur asked jokingly, drinking his liver killer. I guess, but getting drunk? Come on, man, Tommy replied, studying the hero in front of him. His face had small, fresh cuts littered on him. He probably beat up some villain before coming in here. He had some scruffy facial hair that needed to be shaved. Short, fluffy hair covered his left eye. Pointed ears could be seen poking out from under the red beanie. Wilbur was a Blazeborn avian hybrid. He had the ears and tail of a Blazeborn, but also had some sick-ass wings. They were a light red, getting darker near the tips. His outfit consisted of a red, long jacket, going down to his knees, a black undershirt, and some black jeans. Red Silencer was his hero name. The media decided on that one. He got his name after people learned his power, Silencer. He could take away people's voice for hours, causing them to not be able to scream or talk. Kind of a scary power, if you ask Tommy. I mean, Red could be an amazing villain if he wanted to. Hey, don't complain. Don't you want me here? So, you can actually get your paycheck, Wilbur joked, causing Tommy to snack back into reality. My paycheck is shit, man. I'd rather not have to talk to you than get $6 an hour, he said truthfully. Tommy really did need a better job, but no one else is hiring. $6? Primes, that is fucking terrible, Wilbur said, finishing off his second drink. He didn't ask for a new one, however. He quickly stood up, grabbing his wallet and setting 2 20s on the counter before starting to walk to the door. Well, I've got to go beat up some bitches, he said jokingly as he walked away from the counter. Your total is only $8, Tommy called out. Damn, Wilbur was bad at counting. The rest is for you, dumbass, he said, waving to Tommy as he opened the door. Tommy. Tommy didn't know what he was doing. My name is Tommy. Wilbur cracked a goofy smile. The rest is for you, Tommy, he said, leaving the bar. Huh? That was fucking weird. Tommy picked up the money, putting $8 in the register and pocketing the rest, his mind running back that weird conversation with the hero. Tommy gathered up his things and left the bar, waving at the employee taking over on his way out. His shift was finally over. He was excited to go fight some shitty heroes tonight. He hoped he wouldn't run into Red. Wilbur. Such a weird guy, but for some reason Tommy found his presence slightly comforting. No. Tommy was a villain, Red's a hero. They can't be friends. It wouldn't work. It was still raining. His poor jacket, that was dry, is now soaking wet again. As Tommy walked through the middle district into the lower, he kept kicking the same rock down the street with him, both of them reaching his apartment. But Tommy didn't bring the rock inside. That would be stupid. So it lay outside, forgotten. And that was Chapter 1. You can read this on AO3. Yes. Yeah.